Welcome to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast, featuring in-depth interviews with people in hip-hop culture, based out of New England. Leeds. All right, we're here.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Brother? Good. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to make this work. Sorry about last week. I had to move some things around.
Oh, it's all right, man. As you know, I've been a little bit busy on my side too, but it's all good, man. I'm glad we finally got to chop it up, you know.
Cool, man. Definitely. With that note, welcome everybody to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast. Very special guest, DJ producer Tone Spliff. Very hardworking man in the industry. How do I get you on here?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I need a vacation.
It's hard to have taken a vacation when you're self-employed. I'm guessing you're self-employed.
Yeah. There's no vacationing right now. Yeah, no
Yeah.
PTO, no PTO.
Yeah. I was reading in your bio. You're originally from Utica, New York.
Yes, sir. Central New York, way up there, like by the Adirondack Mountains, you know.
I'm familiar. I had my family, my dad's side of the family is from Cooperstown area, Richfield Springs.
Oh, dope. Yeah, that's where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. Yeah. I used to go there a
Yes.
lot as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Really rural area. Utica is probably one of the more busier cities up there, I think, right?
Yeah, Utica, and then you got Syracuse, which is about 45 minutes away from Utica, and then Rome, New York, which is pretty popular now because they just got hit with a tornado, and like the whole city was under a state of emergency from a tornado that hit. But yeah, Rome, Utica, Syracuse, kind of like a little. Those are three biggest cities, I think, in that general area.
Yeah, my grandmother used to always say, 'cause she was a nurse and she'd have to drive to Utica sometimes. And she's like, there's no way you can drive to New Utica and back without hitting a deer.
Yeah, there's a lot of deer up there, man. I've never hit a deer, knock on wood, back when I was living in New York, but I know a couple people that have hit deer, and yeah, they're all over out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did you live there before you moved to LA?
I was in Utica, Central New York area. Probably about I think I was 32 or 33 when I moved out here to Los Angeles, and I'm 43
Okay.
now. So I've been out here for a good 10, 11 years, I think it is.
All
But
right. So majority of your life so far was in upstate New York.
yep.
So what's that like growing up there and getting into hip hop in upstate New York at our
Yeah, I
age?
mean,
It's not easy. That's not, it seems like you might have stuck out there with that.
completely. Yeah, I mean, I started off listening to some '80s rock, the hair bands, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, and Kiss, and all them even. And then I guess Yo MTV Raps kind of really probably put me on to like hip hop MTV and stuff, with the Aerosmith, Run DMC, of bringing rock to rap, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I found Yo MTV Raps, and then when I got into DJing, there was a local record shop who was just getting records from Fat Beats distributed up there. So like they'd always carry like really dope hip hop. So I got in tune with the underground hip hop scene and stuff like that. So I guess television kind of probably put me onto the whole culture, I would say though.
Yeah. Was there other people in upstate New York listening to hip hop? Like, was it popular?
Yeah. We have a little college called Utica College, and there was a few like college shows that were spinning underground. This one cat, DJ Buck, who I used to listen to all the time, and he would be good. He was older, so he would always go down to New York and actually get the records before Last Unicorn would get them. This record shop I used to go to was Last Unicorn, and he would spin them on the college show, and I would record his show and stuff like that. Yeah, and shout out to City Kid too as well. He was another dope DJ on the college radio. As far as like commercial radio though, now they have like Kiss FM, and they played
Yeah.
top 20, top 40, whatever.
Right. So when did you start? You became a DJ first, right?
Yeah, DJing probably in the mid 90s or so, 94, 95. I was influenced by a good friend, my brother DJ Joe Dro. He had a pair of techniques, so I would always go over to his crib and I would beg him to like scratch and blend and DJ and just mess around, smoke tons of weed and shit. And we're just kids basically, just messing around on the turntables. We used to watch the DMC battle videos on VHS back then, and we always used to scratch for hours. You know what I mean? Just cutting.
Talk to me about the '90s DMC battle tapes. Talk about like what that, what that was all about.
Well, those are just for anyone who's not aware. The DMC is just a world famous competition of turntablists, and that's where I saw a lot of the beat junkies and the executioners and stuff like that, and the invisible scratch pickles. And they even expanded my knowledge to cats like overseas, like Japan and the UK. I can't think of their names off the top of the head now. My memory shot, but they put me onto a lot of different DJs back in the day as well. I used to get those cassettes as well from the record shop, the Last Unicorn I used to go to. They would get the DMC videos. There was another league called the ITF, I believe, too, as well. That was kind of similar. They had the turntablists battling, so we would just get those videos. So after we were done scratching and shit, we'd go roll up a few blunts and just go and sit and watch DMC videos. Like that was our whole basically life back then in the mid '90s or so. It was just DJing, collecting records, and cutting and scratching and shit.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I watched some of those. I wasn't as in tune to it as you. I didn't become a DJ till later, but I was a DJ first too.
Oh, that's
I
how
was
it's
a promoter.
that's how it usually starts off. Is like has to start off as like a DJ, and then you either go into making beats. I used to rap a little bit too, but I never liked my voice, so I was like Dre. Like I never liked the sound and shit, so I kind of quit. You know what I mean? But DJing, and then I started making beats in like the early 2000s. Yeah.
Me, a very similar upbringing. I mean, I grew up in southern New Hampshire, which is pretty rural, and
Yeah.
similar thing. '80s kid, rock music, switched over to hip hop, and became a DJ.
Yeah, yeah.
I
We're basically
shifted into I shifted into promoter. You shifted into beat maker.
into producer. Yeah.
Yeah. So as the '90s, all those who did you think was the illest turntablist back then of all those battles? What was the illest shit you've ever seen done?
Oh man, probably A-Track had a few routines that I was like, because he was kind of younger too back then. Obviously, he was like 15, maybe 16 at the time, so he was maybe like my age. So A-Track was a big influence on me. Just seeing that he was young and he was killing shit, and his routines were dope. His cutting was dope. He was affiliated even with that group from Canada, Obscure Disorder, I believe is the name of the group, and they had a few dope songs. And his cutting on songs was a big influence on me too, because he's just supreme turntablist, that dude.
He kind of shifted into EDM, didn't he? A-Track.
Yeah, he's completely different now with he does a lot of the electronic yeah, the EDM festivals and stuff like that. I don't think he's really doing like routines anymore. I mean, that's obviously way, a
Yeah.
long time ago. He's probably like, yeah, I'm probably done with that. Probably because the money, where the money is right now, is in EDM, and he kills shit. He kills shit with the EDM stuff still. So.
Yeah. I think one of the illest I saw was DJ Rectangle.
Oh yeah, Rectangle is dope. I had a lot of the break records from Rectangle with
Yeah.
all the sounds and scratching. So yeah, those records got used like fucking, oh my god, like water out of a faucet. I would scratch on those things.
Yeah. Rectangle's tricks were crazy.
Hmm.
So would you consider yourself at that point a turntablist or just a DJ rocking parties or both?
Back then,
Well, just in I guess we're back then and then later on.
well, back then, it was a lot of the bedroom stuff, just in the mid '90s to the late '90s. I was probably DJing some friends' backyard parties and stuff with some like underground hip hop records I got or something like that.
Yeah.
I did DJ a little bit in a club. I had a 10-year residency at this place called the Electric Company, where it was like old school hip hop. So I was spinning like, it was like the early 2000s, I think, and I was spinning a lot of the Tribe Called Quest, Beastie Boys, and Public Enemy and stuff. The owner typically would book like jam bands and stuff, but he was a fan of the old school hip hop. So he had me open up and DJ before the band, and then after the band to close out the bar. It was a real dope bar, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
10 years residency.
Yeah, 10 years in the yeah, yeah. And then by the time I got old, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of being in bars. I was getting shit faced because the DJ usually gets free drinks, and I was getting hammered like every night. So like, I'm not even a big drinker anymore because of my early DJing days and in the club there. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you there, brother. So when did you make the shift to producing beat making?
Early 2000s, I think 2001. I got the MPC 2000 XL, and I've always had an interest in making beats, but just never really took it serious. I think I even had the MPC for a good year or two before I really sat down and started using it. I was, it would be right there. I'd be like, I should probably probably learn how to use that thing. Just let me go ahead and scratch for another hour, and I would, still scratch and stuff. But then I, started making beats and cutting over some beats, and I got addicted to making beats. So, instead of digging for hip hop, I started digging for like old classic records from the dollar bin, or just records that had, a cool vibe on the cover. Because back then you couldn't, at my record shop, I couldn't listen to the record first, so I had to kind of like judge, based on what the cover looked like, the year of the
Right.
record, looking at the back, what kind of instruments are being used, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take it home and hopefully find some gold, and chop it up. Nowadays, I mean, obviously it's a lot easier. Everyone's chopping and finding samples online, so you can just listen to anything and chop it up basically live.
Right. So when did you start putting out your own music?
2009 was my first like major, I want to say major official release. I had it, professionally mixed and mastered by an engineer. I had a lot of dope artists on it. It was called Authentic. I pressed up 1,000 copies and just sent them to all the fat beats, the New York City, Atlanta, and LA at the time. I sent like each one like 200 CDs and just wrote a note or something that said pass out to your guests or pass out to your customers. So they did that. Like I knew Eclipse, so Eclipse was cool with it. So I got the okay. And yeah, probably 2009 I started taking it serious. I had a project before that. It was called All Jokes Aside, but I did all like the mixing mastering of it, and I'm not like an engineer, guru or nothing like that. But I got a lot of cats from MySpace. So this was back in the MySpace days. It was like 2007. And just I got a bunch of dope cats on there too that were not really known but still dope.
Right. And from there, you put out a lot of compilation albums, compilations. I know compilations got a kind of a stigma, but basically they are your albums.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've put out how many now since then?
Well, producer albums, I got 5, and then
Yeah.
solo artist albums, I think I got maybe 15. Between albums and EPs. Yeah, I've been quite busy. Yeah.
And the list of artists, I mean, you've worked with so many underground, so many underground artists. I can't even list them all because I was gonna, but I was like, I can't. There's too many.
Yeah, yeah, way too
Um,
many.
so out of all those albums and collaborative projects and whatnot, which one kind of stands out to you the most? Do you have the most like memorable experience with, or could tell a story about?
Oh man, probably. I mean, they all have their own probably unique story. Um, as far as favorites, it's hard to kind of say because every one is my favorite. There might be a song or two on one of my producer albums. Maybe I didn't, care for, or maybe could have been cut or something. But I still may have put it on there just to fill some space. That's what filler is back then, I guess. I really like this new one, man, with Edo, only because Edo is I'm a big fan of Edo.G and the Bulldogs since back then, and his solo stuff when he started putting out his solo albums, and he's just a wonderful human being. I mean, I'm sure you know Edo pretty well, being
Oh
from
yeah,
that area and stuff. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Edo is just a really good guy. So I mean, this one is probably like one of my big accomplishments because I've been a fan of Edo.G longer probably than some of the artists that I've worked with. Not taken away from anything from the artists that I do work with, but like he's the OG, Boston legend, man. So I really like his flow. I like the beat selection I picked for him. My cut in is pretty sharp on the record. So I think this new project is my current new favorite out of them all.
And what's the name of this album?
It's called Audio Edibles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was when I saw that you guys did that, I was like, dope. Because I've been seeing your name. You're featured. You might not produce, but you're on a lot of people's songs for cutting too. Like I always see your name on there as a DJ. A lot of tracks. Cause I curate the Leedz list, so my release radar has always usually got a Tone Spliff record every week, a new Tone Spliff record every week,
Yeah.
whether you produced it or did cuts on it. So people must be you reach out to you a lot for at least cuts too. I see.
I get probably like 2 or 3 a week. Yeah, people just hitting in the inbox either on Instagram or emailing me a reference. And yeah, I do a lot of cut work, and I do a lot of cut work for a lot of cats you probably have on your list, on the Leeds list, like Apathy.
Yeah.
I do a lot of cutting for him. The Bad Seed, I do cuts for him. There's a lot of cats I do cuts for, but those 2 cats I probably do some of the most work.
Yeah. And yeah, I was shocked at how much I was so much. I mean, I see your name more than anybody's, I have to say.
Yeah, if I wanted to start a list, from in January, and I wanted to start writing down every song I do cuts on. I didn't start it, but man, if I did, I'd probably be well over like 100 by now. I would say for just this year alone.
I was about to say, that sounds a little low overall, but I'd say yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year sounds really good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know what? Let's talk about working with Edo. I also know that you've worked with other New England artists. Who else? You've worked with Special Teams. Who else have you worked with from New
Um,
England?
well, yeah,
Apathy.
2000. Yeah, Edo has been there since 2009. I've been working with him. I got him on the song with Slane and Jason, which essentially I
Mhm.
turned into a special teams song on there. But Edo's been down since 2009. He wasn't on my Work Ethics album, but then I did get him on my 2016 Pull No Punches producer album, and I got him on a song with Fat Lip from the Far Side. I want to say that's the first time those two collaborated. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So that's another thing. I like bringing two artists together who are kind of they're kind of both dope, but never have been on the same song together. So I like making those dope collabs. We ended up shooting a video for it too out here in Los Angeles at Delicious Vinyl. So that was another really dope accomplishment. I filmed the video too, edited it and everything. So produced scratches and filmed and edited the video. And then Edo, I've gotten Edo on a few projects. What was he on? He was on my Work Ethics 2 project. So he wasn't on Work Ethics 1, but he was on Work Ethics 2 on a song with a Rhyme Style Troupe. She's a dope female MC from San Diego area. So I like her. I liked her name, Rhyme Style Troupe, after that guru phrase. So, and I saw like Boom Bap Nation, I think, post like a video of her. I was like, all right, she's dope. So I reached out to her and got Edo on a song together. And I'm sure I got Edo on a song with my man Freddie Black. I think you know who Freddie Black is. He's
Rhode
from
Island.
Rhode Island. Yep, Rhode Island.
Uh-huh.
Yep. He's on our project, the Black Tone EP, on a song called Flex on Everything, FOE. Yeah, so Edo and I have just been there throughout the years. So like we've known one another for, it's been over 10 years now. So the chemistry has always been there. Edo has always said that he's liked my production. I produced a song on his project, We Do Good, the joint with King Magnetic. And shout out to my man King Magnetic, who I got an album with too. So yeah, man, I'm just, I'm working, man. I'm putting in that work, right?
There you are. So how do you conceptualize tracks? Like when you make these songs, do you just make the beat thinking with the artist in the mind? Do you send them a concept? How do you put it together?
Well, like if I'm working with an artist, like let's say, like right now, I'm starting my 2025 project, so I'm thinking, in advance. I'm going to do a new project with my brother Vic Monroe, dope Chicago MC. I don't know if you heard that project.
Yeah.
I basically went through just beats, man. I got like hundreds and hundreds of beats made, like from 2019 to about 2021. Into the pandemic, and then kind of stopped. I made hundreds and hundreds of beats. Not all of them are bangers, but I started going through some of them and I started to pull some of those bangers. And I was about to run a beat sale, but I decided not to. I hate selling beats. But anyway, I was going through beats and I was like, man, these beats would sound dope for my man Vic Monroe. So I started pulling them. I pulled about 15. I sent them to him. He hasn't listened to them yet, but I kind of just, as a producer, you kind of just hear, who would sound good on a beat, you know what I mean? And you kind of just have that instinct, I guess. And especially if you've worked with the artist before or know their catalog very well, you can just tell like this beat would be dope for so and so.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. The beat, hearing what artist fits right on the beat. And
Yeah, you can't.
do you just let the artist kind of come up with a concept and you just let
Uh,
them?
no, well, for this one, actually, for Vic, I kind of gave him some ideas. First and foremost, I tell them like you have 100% creative control. Here are some ideas, maybe some themes or concepts, but feel free to switch it up, do whatever you feel is best. These are just suggestions. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it could be based on a sample or something. Maybe the beat already has like a little hook in it where I took from the vocals or something. So kind of already has that theme, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, clicks basically pretty easy for the artist and I.
Right. I also looking at your albums. I was looking at one thing. Tell me if I pronounce this right. Ardone Melodico.
Ardore Melodico.
Okay.
Adore. It's Italian. Adore Melodico.
Are
I
you
forgot the.
Italian?
Yeah, yeah, I'm Italian.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
I'm.
right.
I'm not like super Italian though, where I got the wife beater on or nothing like that. And I'm
You sure
yelling,
it's not
"Ma!"
underneath it? It's not underneath that shirt? I'm
Nah,
guaranteeing
nah,
it
nah,
isn't.
nah, nah, nah. I do have a white T-shirt on, but I just like to rock the undershirts. You know what I mean? But nah,
Okay.
nah, no wife beaters or nothing like that. But you know, I'm aware of my heritage and stuff like that, and all that. But no, it's just an Italian word. I think it's basically like love music, love melodies. Melodico is like melodies, and adore is like love, basically.
Well, the reason I bring that album up is you mentioned that you got that whole album crowdfunded.
Yeah. I went through Diggers Factory, which is a company out of France, and it's a crowdfunding. And yep, I ran promotions. I was gonna everybody who pre-ordered got entered into a raffle to win a free pizza wherever they're at, because wherever someone's at, you got a pizza shop close by that you go and get pizza at. You know what I mean? So yeah, I gave away a pizza to I want to say 5 or 10 people or something like that out of the 200 pre-orders. I think it was a 200 campaign. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about that, how that whole process works, because this is kind of in a very this is an important part of the process these days in this era that we're living for indie artists to try to raise money for their projects, because a lot of times you don't have enough money to do the project. It's really hard. And
Yeah.
trying to get it ahead of time, and it's kind of sometimes a negative stigma about crowdfunding. So talk about your whole experience doing that.
It was pretty easy. I just basically set it up through Digger's Factory. So, it's all just fill in the blanks. They make the picture for you and everything of how the record's going to look like. And then it's just, sharing the link, essentially, spamming the hell out of everybody on your Facebook friends list, on Instagram, email blast. Like I was email blasting people on my Bandcamp. Because Bandcamp, I already had people buying, Pull No Punches, my vinyl, because I was able to press that up. Times were a little bit rough for the Ardore Melodico, so that's why I decided to do a crowdfunder for that. But Bandcamp, and it's just basic word of mouth. Hitting up DJs I know who like to buy doubles because that's two. You know what I mean? You get two sales for one guy.
So what were you offering in this for these pre-orders?
The raffle for the pizza, for a free pizza at your wherever you want, whether it's Domino's or you have a local small mom and pop shop. I'll buy you a pizza, and I did. I want to say like 8 people redeemed the pizza, and I PayPal them. I was like, all right, how much is it for a pizza where you're going? They're like $15. I was like, all right, here's $15, and I PayPal them the money to go get themselves a pizza. Like I'm legit. Like I wasn't like a scam or nothing like that. Like I legitimately pulled numbers from a hat and contacted these people to buy them a pizza. That was just kind of a little fun thing to get people also involved. If you're giving away a pizza, someone might want to actually pre-order the album. Forget who's on the album. You might be fans of every single artist I got on there. I just want to win the pizza. I was trying to attract some of those guys. You know what I mean?
Right. That's dope. So it was a pizza, and then did you do vinyl? Did you do CDs? What did you do?
Yeah, I pressed up the CD. I pressed up just some jewel cases, which they sold out. The vinyl sold out. The vinyl actually got picked up by a distributor overseas. I forgot the name of the distributor, but
Yeah.
Digger's Factory works with some distribution company out there, and they picked up a large chunk of it. I think I actually moved it up to 300 pre-orders from 200 because the distributor wanted an extra 100 or something like that. So
Good for you.
I guess one of the benefits of working with Diggers Factory and getting with their connections, those European distribution connections out there.
Is this the only album you did it for?
I did no, I did the Freddie Black Rhyme House as well, which is the Rhyme House is like Grindhouse, like the two films by
Yeah.
Tarantino, those old
Yeah.
school how they used to show two films.
Yeah.
We basically took the Black Tone EP and the Written Dialect EP that I had with Freddie Black, and we put them both on one side of the vinyl. Side A was, the first one. Side B was the second one. And we did a crowdfunding project for that. We didn't hit the goal, but you can get however many pre-orders, and then Diggers Factory is like, do you want to just fund the rest? So then we just, him and I split the cost to press the rest of the vinyl. So That's another good benefit with using a crowdfunding type of company, because you can get, say you have a goal of 100, if you get to 70, you can just fund the 30 and continue with the pressing of the vinyl.
Nice. So when through all this do you decide I'm going to pack up and go to LA or California? You in LA, you said?
I'm in the outskirts, kind of. Not I'm in the 818. It's like I'm between Calabasas and Burbank, basically. So if you know where those two spots are out here,
Yep.
so not like
Yep.
downtown LA where all the commotion is. It's more spread out here in the valley. But I moved out here, it was, yeah, 2013, I think it was, or so. My ex-girlfriend at the time and I, decided we wanted to pack up and move, and things didn't work out. She stayed behind. I still saved up, and I did want to just come out here. I was on a tour with Copyright and Vast Air in 2007, and the last stop was Los Angeles, and it was in December. And I was like, damn. I was like, okay, there's no snow out here. I was like, let me go ahead and move out here because there ain't no snow. Everyone was mad cool. The girls were fly out here. There's pretty girls all over. Don't get me wrong, but the girls look good out here and stuff. And I was like, you know what, I want to move here, man. So I just decided to save. And my ex girlfriend and I kind of parted ways, and I still moved out here. For a good friend of mine who I mentioned earlier, DJ Buck. From the Utica College Radio, he was living out here already, so I had a place. He allowed me to stay at his place for a few weeks while I got on my feet, and I did. I found a job and stuff like that, and just things ended up working out.
So, you talk about that Copyright Fast Air tour. I think I booked that one in Boston at the Midway
Yeah.
Cafe.
I was DJing. Yeah, that's one of the shows, I think, and I think Copyright had a solo show at the Middle East Club as well. Even before
Yeah.
that tour, where he asked if I wanted to go out and DJ there. I think I did. I think I DJed two of your events, I want to say. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That 2000, that venue that we did that 2007 one was a total dive bar. It
Oh,
was,
was
oh God, it was the Midway Cafe. It's, it's a punk rock, it's a punk rock staple and whatnot, but it is a straight up dive bar. And,
yeah, that was
in
the
fact,
weatherproof tour. It was called the
yeah,
weatherproof.
what was the deal with it? Were they dissing Def Jux and that stuff
I
with
know
that?
there was some tensions or something going on between Vast and I think an LP at the time, and Copy and Cage. I think they had some problems. I think at one point, I'm not sure, but I don't know if it was like any type of subliminal diss. I think it was just more so
Well,
because they were all under that same team, right?
right, but what was the guy opening up that was basically mimicking Aesop Rock on that tour? Remember there was that white dude who was rapping like Aesop Rock?
I don't really remember how he rapped, but I know who you're talking about. Syllable Seven, is that
Was he?
Seven or
I
something?
felt like he was trying to imitate Aesop Rock, like it was a diss. Like that's what it
Uh,
felt like.
I don't
No,
know. I don't. I'd have to like see footage and see how he was rapping. I don't remember
he
unfortunately.
sounded
But
he sounded like he was doing an Aesop Rock impersonation. So I thought that was like part of the whole we're dissing Def Jux, and this was called the Weatherproof. It just felt like that was the whole point of it.
no, I don't think so. I think it was just yeah. I think it's just because they were all kind of under that same team at the time.
Okay.
The Weathermen, you know what I mean? All those Yak Balls even, and LP Company Flow,
Yeah.
them guys. Mr. Lift, right? He was kind of
Yeah.
affiliated with Def Jux at the time. So
He's on Def Jux.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for clarifying that because I always thought that's what it was.
No.
Yeah, that was.
If you're talking about the other cat, Syllable Seven, and he had a DJ too who you could cut. Nick Fury, DJ Nick Fury was the DJ. Now I think that's just kind of maybe their style. Maybe they were big, heavily influenced maybe by Aesop Rock or something like that. I don't
He
know.
did sound at least kind of like him, right?
Possibly, yeah. I'd have to hear him again. It's probably the last time I heard his rhyme or anything he put out was probably back then. I think he actually even fell back from rhyming. I don't even know if he rhymes anymore. That cat, but he was cool. I think he actually owns a record store now or something like that. He started to open a record store or something like
All right. Um,
that.
well, that's funny. That's funny. I didn't know you were on that, but I'm glad. And I remember the Copyright Middle East show. So were you on the one with Razcast, that one, or was it a different one?
No, it was just a Vast and Copyright, and then they
No,
had
no. The Middle East one was you said you did a DJ the Copyright Middle East show.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure who else, if anyone else was there. I'm
Okay,
not sure. I thought it was just copyright, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
it's all good. I didn't know if could have been. We did the copy. I've done copyright a few times, so I'm trying to think which one it could have been. But they did one with Razcast. I think he did another one. I forget which one it was.
Yeah, I don't think Ras was there. I would have remembered. I probably would have met Rascast and we got
Yeah,
acquainted
yeah.
back then or something.
Nice, nice, nice. So you also wrote you wrote on your bio, you try not to allow negativity to impede your success. You want to elaborate on that? What kind of negativity are you battling?
Just seeing people, with their opinions, online and stuff, and letting people get under your skin. Some people will reply to every bad comment or negative review, and talk shit to one another. Like, just not let that get to me. 'Cause music is so subjective. Like, not everybody's gonna like my shit, just like I don't like everybody else's shit. You know what I mean? So kind of just not let that negativity affect me and be like, oh, he thinks I suck. I might, maybe he's right. Maybe I should just go and give up. Like, no, just because that one internet guy doesn't like me doesn't mean I should quit. Because with one negative comment, I may have five more positive ones that keep me going.
Right. You also says that you persevere and stay true to the culture. And
Uh,
what does the culture mean to you? Like, what do you
uh, you
how do you
know,
perceive the culture?
dope beats, dope rhymes, dope cuts, and keeping true to that traditional sound hip hop, not more so. I don't even want to call like the new mainstream stuff hip hop. It's more just like rap, which of course is just the element of hip hop. But not go a whole different direction. Stay true to the where the the '90s stuff. Obviously, I'm a big '90s guy, but even preserve it from the early late '70s, early '80s stuff, and onto the '90s. Like, not a lot of people are still doing that sound. A lot of people are selling out even because you even have new cats that are rapping on trap beats and stuff like that. And nothing against trap beats or nothing. If you like it, you like it. I might even listen to it every now and then myself. But I don't know. It's just I don't like the message a lot of the times that's being portrayed in some of the mainstream music.
Right. You talked recently. You got an accident.
I did. Yeah, yeah. That's still ongoing. Yeah, I was
What happened?
T-boned. I was just I was at a red light. The light turned green. I started going, and a woman came out and just ran a red light going maybe about 30, 40 miles an hour. She must have just not seen the light and T-boned me driver's side, and
Oh,
cars totaled and stuff like that. So rest in peace, my Toyota Camry. Glad I'm not rested in peace myself. I could have been dead or paralyzed. So I'm glad my body kept me intact. I'm a little banged up, bruised up. I don't think there's any broken bones or anything, but I'm still going through some treatments for it and things like that. um, yeah, I'm glad I'm alive. I'm glad the other party involved is okay too, as well. To my best knowledge, she was okay too. And accidents happen. I guess I'm just thankful to God, God, or whoever was watching over me, my mother, my best friend, my grandparents. I got a lot of guardian angels up there that were like, nope, this isn't your time, but you're gonna get fucking hit, and you're gonna get fucking some severe whiplash going on right now. So like, yeah, like my neck hurts a little bit, but I'm, like I said, I'm just glad I'm still here. I'm not in a wheelchair or nothing like that.
nice. Well, good. I'm glad you're all right, and everybody's all right.
Thank you,
Car's not
brother.
all right, but
Yeah, yeah.
car's all
Thank you, brother.
right.
Thank you. I really like that Camry, man. It really did me well. Toyota Camrys are pretty good cars.
They're a popular car. My buddy's got one like an 80 from the 80s still.
It still runs,
And
right?
people
See,
love those Camrys.
it's reliable, man. You got to get Toyota as a sponsor, man.
Yeah. I had Sci when I first started, I had Scion as a sponsor, Toyota
Oh, really?
Scion.
Oh, that's
Yeah, they
dope.
sponsored a lot of my events in the beginning. They were
Oh,
pushing
that's
hard in the hip hop community.
oh, that's
Saved my
dope.
ass in the beginning. That extra money really kept me afloat.
Cool.
So cool. We'll wrap up. But anything else you want to plug, or you got anything you got coming up?
Well, right now I just got the new project with Edo.G, Audio Edibles. It's on all the streaming platforms. I got it on vinyl, cassette, and CD, and a few T-shirts left as well. I made some T-shirts with just like the logo. Um, going forward, I got some production I'm doing. I produced the intro on the new upcoming King Magnetic album he's got coming out, and he just opened up pre-orders for that. I'm going to produce a few tracks on my brother Solomon Child's upcoming album. I did about five for him, and I got a project out from 2019 called The Prophet and the King. He's a Wu-Tang, official affiliate. He's cousins with Ghostface. He was on all the Ghostface projects and stuff. Theodore Eunice. So shout out to Solomon Childs. I produced some joints for him. I got next year. I sent Vic Monroe a beat pack, and he's going to start writing. So 2025 we'll have a new project. I'm going to be doing probably a new project with Freddie Black next year as well. Him and I work very well too. He's dope. Yep, him and I work well. And I don't know, sky's the limit, man. I don't know who will hit me up for cuts, in an Instagram DM. So I'll probably be on about 45 more tracks before the end of the month. And then, other than that, just keep it up. And I got my weekly show too. I do hip hop stacks. I'm kind of taking a break from it because of the whole accident. Making sure my back is okay because I lean over when I DJ and it kind of stresses out the back. But I'm going to be coming back for that. That's a weekly show on Chuck D's app, Rap Station 365 or the Rap Station app. So that's airs once a week on Mondays at Monday night. So yeah, I forgot about that.
Nice. Keep up the hard work, brother. It's inspiring.
Thank you, Leedz. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you a lot.
All right, brother. Well, I thank everybody for tuning in to the Leedz Edutainment Podcast with very special guest, Tone Spliff. We'll talk soon, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You too.
Super.